Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to Pick 5 of my favorite 31 hard rock and heavy metal albums of the 70s. We've been doing it all month long. We're at the top 5. Yes, indeedy. Some great albums here. All month, actually. Right? 31 days in the month of July. We've picked out together our 31 favorite heavy albums, hard and heavy albums of the 70s. I have limited myself to no more than 2 albums per any one band to keep the playing field as wide open as possible. You guys are free to pick as many as you want down in the comments. I'm doing it this way because, as I've said almost every day this month, I'd have my entire list made up of like 5, 6, 7 bands, right? Because they're some of my favorite bands, have some amazing albums in this decade, right? So today we're going to take a look at the third album from this British band, released July 12th, 1971, recorded at Island Studios in London, England, produced by Roger Bain for Vertigo Records. Of course, I'm talking about Master of Reality by Black Sabbath. You knew Sabbath was coming at some point, right? Likely not the last time you will see Black Sabbath on this list, of course. And, you know, this is the classic lineup of Ozzy Osbourne on lead vocals, Tony Iommi on guitar. Excuse me. I'm getting so excited talking about this, I'm making myself cough. Bill Ward on drums and Geezer Butler on bass guitar. Tony Iommi also plays a little bit of keyboards or early synths on this particular album as well. Yeah, I mean, this has been labeled as the birth of stoner metal, doom metal, sludge metal. You know, the band famously for this album decided to down-tune their guitars even more to get that deeper, heavier sound. Also a little bit easier for Tony to play with those little tips of his fingers cut off, right? And that would kind of forever cement the heaviness of the Black Sabbath sound. Not that there wasn't some of this on the previous 2 albums, but yeah, there's something different about Master of Reality. Something deeper, heavier, doomier. You could come up with all sorts of adjectives, right? There's something about this album that's just so crushingly good. Starts off with Sweet Leaf. Funny enough, I didn't even think about it. I was coughing before. I guess I'll get ready to start talking about Sweet Leaf, right? Right? All about the leaf, everybody's favorite leaf. Great song, great riff. This album is all about great riffs. How about After Forever? That's like a little bit different on this album, right? A little faster, a little speedier, right? After Forever is terrific. One of the unsung gems in the early Sabbath catalog. I think that doesn't get talked about enough. Very interesting lyric, cool chorus, everything about it. Lots of cool changes going on in that song. Really good. Then, of course, you got the quick little embryo. Sabbath were famous for doing this early in their career, doing these little kind of instrumental things, acoustic guitar, whatever effects and things like that. Embryo leads into the legendary Children of the Grave. Yeah, one of the great metal songs of all time. Doesn't get much darker and doomier and ominous than Children of the Grave, right? Bill Ward's drumming, that riff, just amazing song. Then, of course, you got Orchid, right? Another one of those quick little songs before you get Lord of this World, heavy juggernaut. Oh, man, does that song groove and grind? So good. Then, of course, Solitude, another good one. And that's more of kind of like an atmospheric type of creepy song. Solitude is great, and of course that leads into the Void, which probably one of the great doom songs of all time. Man, so heavy, and those with the riffing from Tony, just apocalyptic, just amazing song, and the whole last half of the song is just so devastating. I mean, this album is great. There are, as we'll talk about in a couple days, there's always been another album that has generally been my favorite. But I tell you, kind of like the Whitesnake thing for me, whereas for decades, the 87 album was my favorite. That has recently been overtaken by Slide It In. After many years, it does happen. This album has been gaining, I've always loved it. It's always been either my second or third favorite Sabbath album, but it has been gaining ground. And I got to tell you, this album and Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, and even Sabotage have really been gaining ground on me in more recent years. So, down the road a little ways, who knows? I might have another favorite Sabbath album. It's possible. I still love my favorite, but I find that I'm listening to some of the other ones a little bit more of late. Anyway, more on that to come. Anyway, let's talk about charting information here, right? Of course, by this time Sabbath are a pretty big band. Australia, this is number 4. Canada, number 6. The Dutch album charts, number 10. In Finland, number 3. Germany, number 5. Italia. In Italia, Sal. In Italy, number 8. Norway, number 12. UK album charts, number 5. In the US Billboard charts, number 8. Pretty damn good. How about when the reissue came out, which I'm assuming is this one here? The remaster, reissue, right? It's amazing how many times I bought these albums. It's crazy. UK went back up to 51. US, number 22 when it was reissued. All right, certifications. Canada, 100,000 units sold, platinum. UK gold, 100,000 units sold. Here in the States, as of last certification, 2 times platinum, 2 million copies sold. All right. And let's see, anything else here I can tell you? No, that's about it. So yeah, a landmark album, a great album. All those early Sabbath albums, for me, from the first album up to and including Sabotage, is absolutely mandatory heavy rock and early metal. No ands if or buts about it. All of them absolute classics. And while I like Technical Ecstasy, I think most folks know I'm not a huge fan of Never Say Die. But then, of course, Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules as we go into the 80s is another beast altogether, right? But for the 70s, it's those first 6 albums that are just mandatory, like virtually untouchable, right? I mean, that is a run right there. Just classic. Black Sabbath, Paranoid, Master Reality, Volume 4, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, and Sabotage. Hard to top that, right? Anyway, let us know what you think of this beast in the comments below, as well as your pick for today. Pick number 5. Anybody guessing what's coming up, right? It's only 4 left. Only 4 left. Will we see Black Sabbath once again? I think so, right? Possibly. I won't lie, right? Possibly. Where it'll sit, that's what's to come, right? So, yeah. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Let's see all your picks down below for pick number 5 as we march our way towards number 1 before moving into, well, we're not moving anywhere. We're staying in the 70s. I'm going to talk about my favorite rock albums of the 70s. So those albums that don't quite qualify for the hard and heavy albums. Some of them may be a little hard, right? That didn't qualify for the prog list, that didn't qualify for the southern rock list. So those general rock albums, right? General rock albums, they don't really fit anywhere else, right? But they're just considered rock albums. So I'm going to somehow pick out my favorite 31 of those. That's proven to be tough. I have put together my long list. I'm checking it twice, trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. And over the weekend, I'm going to be kind of putting that together. I might actually start doing that tonight. And, I have all the bands and artists that I think I'm going to choose from, and I have 2 or 3 albums from each. And again, I'm going to do the, as of today, I'm going to do the 2 album rule. I might move that back down to 1. We'll see. But that remains to be seen. But it's a great list. There's all sorts of really great albums. And, yeah. That'll be fun once again. All right. And then, of course, in September, we're going to move into the 60s. I'll be doing my favorite albums of the 60s, and that'll be fun too. Right. So, till then, visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org, where I think I said this already. Anyway, please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell too early so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also, down below, we get the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations as well as our merch page. So thanks in advance for all your support there. And we'll see you soon here on the channel with more stuff. Tune in, of course, tomorrow for Friday morning at the Funhouse, where Martin Popoff will be doing part 2 of our What If scenario episode. This time, instead of talking about musicians who died young, what if certain things relating to band lineups and albums and producers and musical movements happened or didn't happen or happened differently. That's kind of what we're going to be talking about. So we've each come up with 5 different scenarios that we're going to kind of pontificate on about, well, what if this never happened, or what if they continued to do this, or what if this guy didn't work with them, or what if this person stayed on, all this kind of stuff, right? So and we're going to try and go some different routes with some different bands and things like that. So it'll be fun. Tune in tomorrow. Of course, that's the Funhouse. We've got, of course, the UK Connection coming up on Saturday, as well as ranking the albums. Myself and Rick Labonte will be ranking the catalog of the Winery Dogs on Sunday. And also this weekend, we've got The Curse of the Collector coming back at you. So stay tuned for all of that this weekend. Till then, I'm Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you real soon. Tomorrow morning, we'll pick number 4. Take care. Bye-bye.